Hi everybody, it's Jen from Mr. and Mrs. Pose, and this is a pose connection segment where we look at standing forward bend, Uttanasana, that we dealt with last time, and we look at how we can connect it with other poses in our practice. Let's take a look. Hi everybody. At the beginning of our segment today, I wanted to look at how we might use the chair with this pose. If your balance is an issue or if you need a more gentle practice for whatever reason, you can always use the chair as an option. Sitting, generally with feet apart, you can do this with feet together, but feet apart gives a little more room for the torso. And then just letting yourself hang over the legs. If you're more flexible and it's possible to come all the way through, then you can do so and let the head and the arms hang. This is a really restorative option, lovely opening for that back as well, and gently coming up. If balance isn't an issue for you, but perhaps hamstring tightness is, you can use the chair as well. If you need to build it up with additional cushions, you can do so by standing facing the chair, and we come into the gentle forward bend by rolling down. We can place our hands on the chair and gently start to let the head come towards the chair. If it doesn't make it, it doesn't matter. But if the crown of the head can come to the chair, we start to take some of the weight out of and tension out of the back and the hamstrings. By doing that, we get a little bit more release. And then as we hang here for a while and we find our flexibility might be improving, we can even transition to our blocks again. So we could try them at full height. And as we get a little more flexible, transition down, perhaps down another level, and eventually maybe working with only one block. Beautiful. And all the way up. And the same principle applies. By taking that weight out of the head, we just allow that greater release for the hamstrings in the back. So just removing the chair. The most common way that we use standing forward bend and sequence in our practice is in our salute to the sun. So we'll just do the gentle variation to remind ourselves here. Front of the mat, either feet apart or toes together, heels apart. Lifting up, we can roll down. Lift and look forward. We'll just take our right leg back, right knee to the ground. We're just doing the gentle variation today. Coming back to child's pose. Looking forward, unless you're pregnant, scooping through. Tucking toes, downward dog. And bringing that right foot through, and then we step forward into our standing forward bend again. And we can choose to hang out here a little bit. So bringing the feet maybe a little further apart. You can take the thumbs, hook them into the elbows. Maybe sway. We can also transition to other poses from here, like Padangusthasana, which is the big toe pose. So we take our two-piece fingers around the big toes and let the elbows fold out. And we can also try Padahastasana, which is hand under foot pose, where the toes come right up to the wrists and then we fold the elbows and start to bring ourselves down again. Beautiful. Releasing. We can take the feet to the width of the mat and then actually bend the knees, coming all the way down. If you're tight in the heels, you might need some height under the heels here, and bring the hands into prayer. This is called Malasana or garland pose. Lovely hip opener. And then we can transition out of that, pressing the hands forward and gently coming up back into our standing forward bend and rolling up. So we can also use it with our standing poses. So if we want to take some of the heat or enervating quality out of the standing sequence in our practice, punctuate with standing forward bend can make it a little more restorative. So let's give that a try. If we're coming to the top of our mat and perhaps we're stepping all the way back, nice leg and a half length distance, a warrior two. And then we're coming to the other side, perhaps extended side angle. Arm comes up. And then from here, just planting the hands, we can just step forward into our standing forward bend
taking a pause, a reprieve before we do the other side. Gently rolling up.
And finally, one way to use this pose is actually to very specifically prepare yourself for relaxation or Shavasana. And we can use the wall for this purpose. So bringing the feet with our backs to the wall, feet about hip distance, we actually take the buttocks onto the wall. And then we gently start to roll down. And what you find is with this angle and the pressure against the wall is that you do start to open a lot more in this pose as you hang here a little bit. So you can walk those sitting bones up the wall. And then just let yourself hang. You can use the elbows again or just let the hands drop. And you can stay here for several minutes. It's a beautiful way to prepare for relaxation or Shavasana. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to Mr. and Mrs. Pose for much more. Namaste.